Now, I have started the recording again, and today I'm going to show you how you are going to make a clicking game today. So you can always look inside the projects and try to replicate them to make your own games or to learn more from them. But first, let's try to get our basics straight. So we have made like many games in which we are mostly using the keyboard to play the game. Today we are going to make a game in which we are going to use the mouse to play that particular game. In our last lesson that is going to be conducted on Friday, I am going to show you another game in which you use both mouse and keyboard. It's like a shooter game that you can use. So I will show you that also. But today we are going to learn a game. We are going to learn and create a game in which we are going to use mouse in order to perform a certain action. So today's game is going to be called a clicking game. You have to click an object and that object would give an effect that it is being clicked. Afterwards, what we are going to do next is that we are going to make our uh, score count. How many times you click the object, you are going to get a score for every perfect click that you make. And there is going to be a timer. Today I'm also going to show you how to set a countdown timer to your game so that you have a certain, yes,
Sir, I made cricket game.
you have made the clicker game.
Yes.
Have I told you how to make a clicker game?
I watched the video to make the cricket game.
You watched the video on your own.
Yes.
I didn't share that video, I guess. I guess I haven't told you how to make a clicker
On
game.
YouTube or YouTube?
Yes,
On
on YouTube.
YouTube.
On YouTube, yes, you have. You obviously would have seen that. So today I'm going to show you a clicker game, but that clicker game is going to be different from the game that you have taken from the YouTube. It's different in a way that in this game I'm going to show you how to set a countdown timer. Yes, Yazib, you want to say something?
It was your video about morning shift.
Okay, you saw it yourself, I guess. It was uploaded on my basically channel because the other class is also done.
Yes.
Okay, so this game, what I'm going to show you is how to set up the countdown timer. First thing. Secondly, obviously you already know how to get scores in that. Also, I'm going to show you how the game would work. So for that, what you need to have is first you need to have a backdrop. Any backdrop that you want to choose, you can pick from that. So I will go to this backdrops option and select a new backdrop. I can choose any backdrop that I want. Let's say that I want to choose this hearts background. And in the hearts background, I'm going to put a character. That character is going to be a clickable object. You can click on that object. So for that, I'm going to use this sprite, another sprite. Let's say we choose this.
Sir,
Hello. Yes.
I can't see a screen.
You can't see my screen.
Yes.
Okay. Now you would be able to see my screen. So there are two
Yes.
things first we need to do for that we need to do in order to create a clicker game. First, we need to set a backdrop. So I have selected a backdrop that I think would be suitable for my game. You can choose a different backdrop if you want. See, selecting a suitable backdrop is very important. The backdrop or the stage is going to give your game a particular arrangement, a particular style. So if you choose a good backdrop, yes, Abdul Rafi, you want to say something? So if you choose a suitable backdrop for your game, it's going to be very helpful in the overall setting of the game. So as we are making a clicking object, so there is no certain condition that if our backdrop should be, let's say, a forest or jungle or something like that. We can have any random backdrop. So I have selected this hearts backdrop. Now it's time for us to select a clickable object. We need to set an object that we are going to click on. So let's say that I select this crystal. No. So let's say that we use this drums. So every time we are going to click on drum, we are going to show that they are being clicked. And we can also change the costume if I want. Let's say that I don't need this kind of this drum. So I'm going to remove it and I'm going to have this drum only with me. Done. And let's position it in the middle by setting its position to 0, 0. And also see if it is in middle of your screen. Now it is in the middle of your screen and now it's in the middle of the screen here as well. So now let's say that we start clicking this object. So when we will click this object, there should be something that should happen. And that something is, let's say that when we click this object, so this is when this sprite clicked, there needs to happen something that tells us that we have clicked the object. Right now I'm clicking the object and nothing is happening. So I need to code something which tells me that the object has been clicked. So let's say we go to this looks option. Uh, there would be size. Yes, change size by 10 and then wait for some time. And sometimes with the word sometimes I actually mean a very small interval, like 0.01 seconds, very small interval. And change the size back to the original. So previously you changed the size by 10, now you are going to change the size by -10. See what happens when you change the size by 10. So when you change the size by 10, this gets bigger. And when you keep on touching it, it would keep on getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So when you change the size by -10, it would change its size and become smaller. So if you now put it here, like you change the size by 10, change the size by 0.01, so wait for 0.01 seconds and change the size by -10, something like this is going to happen, which kind of looks suitable to us. We can change the wait time here. To make it look more smooth. So this time can be any time that we want. It's kind of like very slow here. So I'm going to make it, let's say 3. And this is perfect for me. Now I need to add a sound so that whenever this object is clicked, we hear some sound as well. So let's say that we say start sound and put it here. So we can change the sound if we want from here. Just have to see which sound suits us the best. Maybe this one is fine. We can always delete some part of the sound to make it more like quick. So this is going to happen when we now, okay, so I forgot to check the name of this sound. The sound name is high tune. So let's say that I change it to this sound. Now when I click this object, I hear the sound as well. If I put the sound at the start like that, the sound would be more suitable. Okay. Now let's move towards the next thing. Let me reduce the brightness because I guess my electricity is lost here. So I would not want the class to like finish abruptly. Okay, so now our object is working fine. When we click it, it plays a sound and now we need to add score to it. So let's say how do we add the score? So every time this object is going to be clicked, we are going to add score and that score is going to be added by change click to change click by 1. So every time you click it, you hear a sound and that's fine. Now we need to make sure that whenever we are going to start, this object is going to be in the middle. And if this object is in the middle, so for that we need to go to this motions block and put go to x 00 and set variable to 0. This is what is going to happen in the start. And also I want to add some time here. So in order to add a time, I'm going to also add a variable and its name is going to be time. So at the start of the game, I would want the time to be set to a certain value also. So I would want the time to be set to, let's say, 30 seconds. And now the time is set to 30 seconds. How can I change my time? So for that, I'm going to go here, go to this events option, sorry, not control option, put this forever block here, go to this control options, sorry, go to the variable options and add change time by -1 and change time by -1. Before doing that, just wait for 1 second. So now what's going to happen is you are going to change time by 1 second and you are going to wait for 1 second. After every second, the time is going to come down like for 1 second. You can see it here. Now, when I press this flag button, you would be able to see that the time is increasing instead of decreasing. Why is that happening? Can you tell me why is this happening? The time is, you can see that increasing instead of decreasing. The time is basically starts at 30 and instead of coming down towards 0, it is going above. So we need to fix something in the code, and that's something that we need to fix is this change time by. We are not going to increase the time, we are going to decrease the time. So that is where we are going to put -1. Very good, Shazib. So when we start it, you will see that the time is now coming down every second. Now we need to tell something else also. When the time is 0, if the time goes to 0, so we are going to pick this one, if block, and say if the time goes to 0, what should happen? So first decide this. If time is 0, so go to variables, pick the time variable block and put it here in the green block. So if the time is equal to 0, we would want everything to stop. So for that, we are going to go to control and set this stop all. And this is going to stop. Let's say now I start with 5. And what would happen? After going to 0, this is going to stop. Now the game would have stopped. If I do not pick up this block, let's say that if I don't put this one here, what happens? This time is going to start going backwards, like in minus also. -1, -2, -3. But if I put it here, this is going to stop when the time is 0. And nothing would happen after that. See, nothing is happening after that now. Also, we can put up the game over screen or press flag to start again also. Like select this one or add a new background and add hearts again and say press flag to start again. Let's make a smiley here, a sad face here also. So I've got this, sorry, this here you can increase its size also. So it says basically press flag to start again and nothing else. And there should also one thing should happen when we go to this press flag to start again, that basically we are going to go when our object has, when the time has gone to 0. So we are going to switch to this backdrop. We're going to go to looks and use this switch backdrop to arts 2. Yes, fine, that's fine. And at this point we would also want that this tabla is removed, this drum is removed. So for that we are going to click on this hide here so that it is hidden as well. So let's hide it first and then stop it. Before stopping it, let's switch back to the backdrop. That's true. So let's see what happens now. Yes. And now when we start the game, we would want this original backdrop to come back. And let's see what happens now. Once we go back to 0, yes, this is going to come. But there is one thing that you can see. When I started the game, we can't have the drum here. We are not having the drum here, which should actually be here. Because we have hidden the object, we now would want to show the object as well. So now when I click it back, the object comes back on its original position. That is perfectly fine for us. Now we need to write a code that what happens after, let's say we reach a certain score. So again, duplicate this whole forever thing and put it here as well. And just remove all the things from the inside. Like you do not need this wait for 1 second here. So I'm going to delete this block. We do not need to change this time here. So I'm going to get this out of here as well. But we have to see something. That is that if score or clicks reaches 50, that is click. So if click becomes equal to 50, we would want that our object changes its place. So how does it change the place? It is going to change the place through this motions block. We are going to say that go to random position. So after you have scored 50 points, you would want your character to go at a random position. So let's say that I start with 47 and after I set it to 50 points, you can see that the character has started moving everywhere. That is happening because it would keep on doing that. Why? Because we have put it in a forever loop. That is a mistake. We should not put it in a forever loop. Instead, we should put it just like this loop. So when it starts and when you reach the 50 position, it changes its position. It changes its position, and after changing its position, it basically keeps on working on that place. So let's say that after changing its position, there is also something that we want to do. We want it to give you more points, maybe 50 points. After 50 points, you are going to have something that would allow you to start clicking the again. But once you reach the 50 points, you are going to be like a few seconds left. So after you are done like 50 points, maybe you want to score 100 points. So the time that you have now to score 100 point is very less. So we would want to add some more seconds to it. So let's say that if we reach this time, or if we reach to 50 points, what we need to do next is we need to add more time. So we are going to go to this controls option, sorry, variables option, and change your time by, let's say, 15 points. So if you were reaching here at 11, your time is going to now become 26 seconds, and you have to make other 50 clicks in 26 seconds. So for that, we are going to put another block here, this if block, and this if block, we are going to put the same, this condition here. And now instead of 50, we are going to make it to 100. Okay, so we are going to have 100 points here. So when you go to 100 points, you can say that you have now won the game. And for that, you are going to select a new backdrop, a party backdrop. Let's say there is a party backdrop. Yes, this one. And when you score 100 points, it says, congrats, you have won the game. Congrats, you have won the game. So that is 1 point. So similarly, this backdrop is going to come once you have scored 100 points. So you are going to put it in this condition that let's say that if you have scored 100 points, it is going to tell you that you have won the game. So for that, you are going to switch backdrop to party, hide your object, and stop everything. So for that, this is stop all. We are going to stop all here. So now let's say that we play this game and we have to score 100 points. So this game is now actually working perfectly fine. There is just one glitch in this. Maybe that glitch would be here. That is when I click that object too aggressively, it starts becoming big. So now when I press the flag icon, you see that it does not return back to its original state. So I need to make sure that whenever I press the start button, this object needs to be at this size. So now when I click it, it comes back to its original size. See, there is only this one glitch here. That when I'm clicking it like too aggressively, it becomes very big and it may not come back, and you would have only scored like 12 points. So for that, I would want it to come back to its original size. For that, set size to 100% is also supposed to be mentioned here. So now you can see that if there is any question to this game, you can ask me. Do you guys want to ask any questions about this game, Ahmed and Shazib?
No, sir.
Okay. So let's say that I share this video with you guys. Would you be able to make this game on your own?
Yes, sir.
Because this game is not that difficult. It's quite simple. Okay. So I am going to share this video now, and you can try to practice it today or maybe tomorrow. And on Friday, we are going to have a last class of this first level. And in that level, I'm going to show you one more game, and that would be a shooting game. You would be making a game in which you can shoot. Like there is this zombie survival game in which you have to shoot zombies and all. So we're not going to have actual 3D zombies or 3D characters shooting there, but we are going to have a game in which you would see two different kinds of characters and you can shoot those characters. That kind of game we will inshallah try to make in our next class. Okay. Okay. Thank you so much for joining in today's class. Take care. Allah Hafiz.
Love sir.
Allah Hafiz.
Hi, sir.
Bye. Abdul Rafi, you never say something. Are you still in there? Okay. Allah Hafiz.